Earlier this year, the Chinese student Zhenhao Zou was jailed for 24 years for drugging and raping 10 women in the UK and China. He's been described as one of Britain's most prolific predators. After his trial, detectives said they feared that he may have attacked 50 more women. A BBC investigation team has now spoken to a woman who says she was drugged and raped by Zhao just hours before he attacked a second woman. Well, with me now is Wanxing Zhang, who's a senior reporter at BBC's Global China unit. What did your investigation find?
So our investigation finds that Zhou might likely attack two women within 24 hours in a row. And we learned that because one of the victims that we spoke to, who we are calling Rachel, she told us that she was drugged and then raped by Zhou in October 2022 in China in his house. And she shared with us this text exchange between her and a friend, which we later learned that the date she showed us after was less than 24 hours that he attacked another woman. And the dates and their experiences were so similar that when Rachel reported her case to the police, to the Met Police in March, they initially questioned if they were the same person or not, because the experiences she shared were almost identical to each other and the dates were so similar.
And you've spent months speaking to his victims. What did you learn from doing that?
So one of the most unique aspects of the case is that when Zhou was convicted, most of his victims were unidentified, meaning that most of the women hadn't reported to the police back then. But after speaking to many of his victims, I started to understand why. So many women told me that they feared that they didn't have enough evidence, or they simply didn't know this was something they could report to. And some of them also say that if others discover, they might judge them. And there is also the language barrier as well.
And more than 20 women have come forward since his conviction. What do you think has encouraged them to do so, given that there were hesitations and concerns about it before?
So ever since his conviction broke out the news has immediately swept the entire Chinese social media, and many of the people who knew Zhou started to share their encounters with him or their impressions with him, especially for some victims who had been bravely sharing their experience online and encouraging other victims to come forward. So there was this almost this sense of solidarity and sisterhood on Chinese social media. And it's not just the victims, some others are trying to help as well. So being spoken to a Chinese translator called Lily. So she is based in the UK, and after she saw the news, she decided that she wanted to help. So she made a post on the Chinese social media offering free translation service. And she told us that after she made the post, more than 5 women actually reached out to her saying that they were those victims.
Well, Wanxing Zhang, thank you so much for talking us through your work there. That's Wanxing Zhang, who's senior reporter at BBC's Global China unit. And you can see more details on her work on the BBC News website, where there's an article about this story.